discussed the clinical trials, so we will continue with the recognition of the clinical trials in Germany, which is a national. So we have two organizations for the medicinal products and one organizations for the medicinal devices. So the first one is for the medicinal products. We have arsenine metal gazettes, which is known as AMG. Arsenine metal, that's mean a drug, and gazettes, that's mean as a rule. And we have another thing is called GCP for ordnung. For ordnung, it's a German word which just means the recognition. So these organizations that is responsible for the medicinal products, and they are present in Germany. So AMG, GCPV, which is known as a good clinical practice. And for medicinal device is called Medizin Technik Gesetz, and again Gesetz, that means it's a rule, and the abbreviations is MPG. I don't know and have no idea what is a P here. End of the study, notify competent federal and local authorities and ethics, report results after a year, and in the case of the termination. Okay, and then the clinical trials need to be registered at Idora City. We should do that. We have to do that. We have to register the clinical trials at the Idora City. All the interventional clinical trials from phase 1 to the phase 4. Sometimes they said that is from phase 2 to the phase 4 in the adults, and phase 1 to the phase 4 in the pediatric, in the children, I mean. Registry up to the 21 days after the first enrollment. It should be registered in the first or in the 21 days after the first enrollment, and the results after the last patient visits, 6 months if that is pediatric, and the 12 months if it's adults. And we have all the phases of this process flow: the preparation of the study, the start, the conduct, and the close out. So the preparation of the study, we should take approval from the competent federal higher authorities. In Germany is called Bundesamt für Arzneimittel or Powell Ethic Institute, and from Ethics Committee and Bundesamt für Strahlenschutz, that's mean the protections from the radiations. That's include additional radiological examination, and all these studies happen in the preparation of the study. And then the start application to notify, that is a must component, federal and local authority at the start of the study. Observational study at the Kassenärztliche Bundesamt für Einung, that's mean it's organizations for the physicians. And then the conduct, we should make sure that we do the pharmacovigilance and the pharmacovigilance or vigilance, and continuously suspected unexpected serious adverse reaction, we should record that or register that in 15 days. Suspected unexpected serious adverse reaction leading to the death should be recorded or should be registered in 7 days, or there will be a change in the benefit. There is not or no unexpected serious adverse effects, then we should do annual safety report. We should do, or we send a safety report annually, or development safety update report. So that is about the phase process. And now about the registrations of a clinical trial should be registered again and the clinical trials.government or Idora City. And these are clinical trials directive 2001-20 EC. Phase 2 to the 4 for the adults, and phase 1 to the 4 for the pediatric trials, and should be registered in the Idora City. International Committee of the Medical Journal editors requires trial registrations. Also, they important, or they have to register in Idora City. And also these organizations should posting the results again in the Idora City or clinical trials.government. Section A101 of the Food and the Drug Administration Amendments Attack, which is known as FDAAA, and 2008 Declaration of Helsinki revision promotes the trial. And the other thing is EMA, European Medicinal Agency, phases 2 to the 4 adult trials and phase 1 to the 4 pediatric trials. So all these organizations should posting the results in EDORA CT or a clinicaltrials.government. If there is a non-compliance with the registry regulation, the first important that the FDA Amendment Act, what they should do in the case of there is non-compliance with the registry regulation. The first thing that they are responsible for that public notices of non-compliance and violation, withholding of the National Institutes of the Health funding, FDA sanction, civil monetary penalties, and maybe it reaches to the $10,000 per day. The Centers for Medical Care and Medical Aid Systems, billing and funding delayed or denied. International Committee of the Medical Journals Editors, no publishing in ICMGE journals and other selected journals. So this is non-compliance with the registration regulation of all this stuff happened. Now we go to the good clinical practice, which is a part of the ICH, international, ethical, scientific, quality standard for design, conduct, recording and reporting of the trials involving the human subjects. It's not only for the human because we do experiments first in the animals, so it's international, should all the countries and all, it's a global thing, ethical and scientific quality standards for the design and then the conduct of the trial, recording the trial and reporting the trial, so everything involving the human subjects. The guideline for the good clinical practice is called E6R2. So when I see ICH E6R2, that means it's a good clinical practice, is international, scientific, ethical, equality standards for the design, conduct, reporting, handling, recording everything of the trials, because it concerned about the human subject, and we have to memorize that is E6R2 ICH. It's the same, that is a good clinical practice. International Conference on Harmonizations of this GCP, ICH GCP E6R2, includes basically everyone except China, India and Russia. So except these countries, it's a global, but except these countries like China and Russia and also India, they are not involving in the good clinical practice. Commit members: European Commission, EFPIA, European Federations of Pharmaceuticals Industries and Association, Japanese Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, Japan Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association, U.S. Food and Drug Administrations, Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacture of America. So all the countries are involved in this except the China, India and China. Who is the observers? WHO, EFTA, European Free Trade Area and Canada. Non-voting members: IFM, PMA, Internal Federal of Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association. And now the most important thing is the structure of the ICH, which is composed of quality guidelines, safety guidelines, and also efficacy guidelines and multidisciplinary guidelines. And unfortunately we have to memorize this, and then we will discuss the 13 principles of the GCP. It will be the next lecture.